Good evening. A charity offering debt advice say they're seeing a huge increase in the number of people seeking help. Birmingham Settlement used to deal with 25 to 30 people a week.
They say that figure shot up to 25 a day, with many owing sums running into thousands. They're blaming the effect of recent welfare reforms and the popularity of payday loans. Giles Latcham reports.
This is Leon, not his real name, but he's in real need of help. He's seriously ill. His spare room means he's losing out to the so-called bedroom tax.
Come on in, Leon, take a seat.
And the interest's piling up on 2 payday loans.
I got sick pay for a certain amount of weeks, but then that stopped. And then the direct debits kept on coming out of the bank, and there was nothing in there to pay it. And I'm meant to be eating better and stuff, but when you're stressed out, you can't eat, because at the moment I can't see how I'm going to get myself out of the debt.
Leon's very typical. It is very, very difficult for clients when they're being put under pressure from all different angles. Benefits, loans that they're taking out, high fuel bills, water rates, TV licence. It just seems that it's just coming at them from everywhere, and they are struggling, they're finding it difficult.
In April and May last year, 221 people turned up looking for help with their debts. In the same period this year, the figure was 660. That's an increase of 300%, with payday loans a major factor. But those who make the loans say they do so responsibly.
Payday lender will be looking at your spending patterns. They'll give you a credit check, and you'll need to be in employment, have a bank account. So there's a number of measures that you'll need to meet. And that's why more than 8 out of 10 people are paying back their loans in full and on time.
For those deep in debt, there is hope. Matt gave up his job to nurse his terminally ill father and ended up owing £45,000. He's got a new job now and reduced his debts to £12,000. His advice?
If you bury your head in the sand, it will only get worse. The stress will get worse, and the more stressed you are, the more difficult it is to deal with your problems. So address yourself and your problems, front up to it, and get help and support.
Trouble is, things are tough for the helpers as well. One of the city's oldest charities, Birmingham Settlement, recently laid off 3 workers for lack of funds. This at a time when they're more in demand than ever. Giles Latcham, BBC Midlands Today, Newtown.
Well, I'm joined now by Martin Treadgold from Six Towns Credit Union, which helps people across Sandwell and Worcestershire. Good evening to you. Now, lots of people will have heard of credit unions, but could you just explain how they operate, how they work?
It's a savings and loans cooperative, fully regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. We're owned and run by our members. We take members' savings in, and we make loans available at low rates in order to be able to pay a dividend to those savers.
Now, we heard in Giles Latcham's report there's been a huge increase from that one charity. Have you seen an increase in people coming to you for help?
It's quite curious that in quite a number of areas, the changes have been where people suddenly get a change in circumstance. Suddenly they might only lose a few hours work a week, and those people that have just been managing suddenly tip over the edge. And then you get the ones with the far greater debts, the ones with the tens of thousands of pounds.
Tens of thousands?
It's not uncommon, I'm afraid.
And you've seen an increase in people coming to you for help?
We have.
By what
yes.
sort of percentage would you say?
At least doubled over the course of the last few months.
Really? And that just through small changes, just through losing a few hours work?
Sometimes as little as that. And if there are 2 of you in the house and you're just about managing, and then suddenly you lose a few hours work a week, let alone losing your job.
Now, there is help available out there, isn't there, from payday loan companies, for example. They
if you call that help.
Well, they have had a bad press of late, but if you can repay it quickly, they can be a godsend, can't they? Because you can get the cash immediately. Is that the case with credit unions?
But for those people using payday lenders, they're usually in difficulty already. They're either maxed out on the credit cards, or their overdraft is full. So therefore, they're already in difficulty. And what happens then is that at the end of the month, they find they can't pay back. Good intentions, but they find they can't. Then that debt rolls over, and suddenly a debt for £200 or £300 to repair the car suddenly becomes £1,000.
But if somebody has got debts of tens of thousands of pounds, they need help pretty quickly. How quickly could they get that from a credit union?
Well, they need very different sort of help if they need tens of thousands of pounds. They really do need to get advice from Citizens Advice Bureau or the other advice lines that are available, and really get help quickly. Don't delay. Don't wait for those red letters to stack up on the, in front of the fire or whatever. Get help quickly.
Good advice. Martin Treadgold, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming up later in the programme. The Stones, The Who, one